Hello, chess family. It's me, National Master Jesse James, and today we're looking at a very fun attacking game I got to play against the Caro. In this one, my opponent decided to fianchetto when I played the fantasy variation, and well, this gave me plenty of good attacking chances, and I got to get a very nice attacking game. Let's get to it. Here we go. In this game, I'm playing the white side, and I started off with e4. My opponent chose the Caro, so they played pawn to c6. And, well, this is the main line. We go pawn to d4 here, 2 pawns in the center. My opponent played d5, and now what I like to play, what is called the fantasy variation, getting 2 pawns in the center, I go ahead and play pawn to f3. And here the main line is to go ahead and play pawn takes, but my opponent did not know the best move here, or the move that mainline theory, meaning the best move to play, is to go ahead and play pawn to e5. And, well, this is really cool because, well, after e5, you cannot take back here. I mean, yes, you can go ahead and trade queens here if you want to, but here queen h4 check is even more devastating, especially if you don't know this idea. g3, queen takes on e4, just winning a rook. So in this main line, after e5 gets played, white typically goes knight to f3, and the game is about equal. Again, like I said, against my opponent, a strong player at 25.94, did not know this and went ahead and played knight to f6. And, well, now it's just time for fun. I love these games. I got the fantasy. I got the 2 pawns in the center. And now I'm going to create an attacking pawn structure. Here, I went ahead and played knight to c3. This is a good move because it's going to go ahead and attack the pawn. Best is to go ahead and play pawn to e5 here right away, but that's okay. I went ahead and played knight to c3. And here my opponent, since they missed e5 the first move, they're probably going to miss it the second move. They went ahead and played g6. And g6 is typically a good idea because, well, fianchettoing, whenever you put the bishop over here in your castle, you have 2 pieces defending, and you can usually get very good counterplay by attacking the center or even on the queen side. Unfortunately, this didn't get to happen to them because I'm going to show you a cool idea I like to play against this. Anyways, back to the game. I went ahead and played knight to f3. My opponent went ahead and played bishop g7. And now I finally found the right move here, and I played pawn to e5. This is the attacking pawn structure I'm talking about. Remember, whenever you look at your pawns, if you're trying to decide which way you should attack, look at your pawns. Here they're pointing kingside, and, well, I'm going to go for a kingside attack. I mean, I might have gone kingside attack anyways. I'd love to attack the king. But here, at least I know this is the best decision or the best play for strategy that I can do. And, well, my opponent played knight to d5 here, and here is one of the ideas I'm talking about. Here, some people get very uncomfortable because, well, there's 3 different types of pawn weaknesses. We have the double pawns, the isolated pawn, and the backwards pawn. In this one, my opponent is threatening to do knight takes c3 to give me double pawns. And here, believe it or not, it's actually great to get double pawns. I'm always excited when I get these double pawns. Now, these double pawns are done on purpose because what they do is, well, one of the main ideas in this position is for black to play c5 and destroy my center. Well, if I get double pawns here, the pawn will just take back. So here, I invite my opponent to give me double pawns, and I went ahead and played bishop to d3. And here, my opponent did not know the best move, and they went ahead and took. Here, like I said, the best move actually here is to play pawn c5. If I take, knight takes, well, this is a different story. These are triple pawns. These are very bad. As you can see, my center is completely gone. So here, I'm always happy when my opponent goes ahead and takes. So now I take back. Like I said, these are the good double pawns here. My bishops are aimed kingside. My knight's ready to attack kingside. I'm going to castle. I get my open f rook. My queen's ready. This is going to be a very nice attack. And what I like with these double pawns here also is the rook can go to b1. It's got an open file here. Notice that, well, if they play c5 now, I'm actually not too worried about these lines. I'll just go ahead and castle, and if they take, pawn takes, knight c6, hit d4 again, pawn c3, and now I have that beautiful attacking pawn structure. So I'm always happy when this happens. So, well, I went ahead and took back because they took, and they castled. Well, let's go ahead and follow up. Before you start your attack, you must make sure your king is safe. So let's go ahead and castle ourselves. And here my opponent played knight to d7. An okay looking move here. I mean, here again, they should have been looking to play the c5 ideas. And maybe they're looking at that right now. But yeah, this knight is just not at its best square. You could try pawn to e6 here, but there's no need to do this. I love this attacking pawn structure. And now I'm going to show you a nice thematic idea that, well, just worked out perfectly here. Here I went ahead and played queen to e1. What's the idea? If you've ever played the Grand Prix attack, this is actually a very similar idea. We're going to play bishop h6 and then knight to g5. Well, let me go ahead and complete that. We play queen h4 first, bishop h6, and then knight to g5. That's one of the Grand Prix attacking schemes, and this is going to work in this line too. So here my opponent did not see the idea, so they went ahead and played knight to b6. So what do I play? Queen to h4. Again, the idea is to play bishop h6 and knight to g5. Now, it's important that you do it in this move order, because if you play, let's say, knight to g5 first, let's go ahead and make their move. They went ahead and played knight d5, not the best move here. It does attack the pawn, but, well, my attack is so strong here, it just doesn't matter. They can win a pawn over here. I'm going to win checkmate over here. And here, you have to play the bishop to h6 first. Notice that if you go knight to g5 to threaten the check mate over here on h7, they can either play h6 or they can play h5. And both moves are good because now it's hard to attack on h7. So the reason why you play the bishop to h6 is because now when you go knight g5, they cannot push the pawn forward. And this is the attacking idea I was talking about earlier that is used in that Grand Prix attack. So my opponent went ahead and played pawn e6, saying, hey, I'd like to trade queens here. There couldn't have been a worse move. What was the move I wanted to play? Here I want to play knight to g5. Of course I want to play knight to g5. With knight g5, now the threat is to take on g7, and now if they take back, we'll play queen takes on h7 for checkmate. So here, this is already a +6 position. White is just winning in this game. Here, my opponent, I guess they couldn't figure out a good way to stop the bishop takes g7. Let's just say, I don't know, they played like queen e7 here. Now you take on g7, and if you take back, it's checkmate. So here they're just looking for any kind of way to try to guard on h7. Here my opponent went ahead and played bishop to h8. And, well, this just leads to a very, very bad position. Here I want to take on h7 for checkmate. So I went ahead and played bishop takes on f8. Not only does this win the rook, but now queen takes on h7. Checkmate is being threatened. And here my opponent just didn't have any good moves. So the game actually ends quite fast here. He went ahead and played pawn to h5. And here I went ahead and played rook takes on f7. After this, it's going to be forced checkmates in a lot of different positions. He played bishop to d7. And here I did not play the best move. It's white to move. What do you play here? All right, if you haven't already, don't forget to give us that like and subscribe. Remember, liking this video is going to share it with other chess players. All right, I played the lame move of bishop takes on g6. Did you play this move? Here, there's actually another very strong idea, which is actually, I believe it's Blackburn's checkmate pattern with queen takes on h5. Look at that beautiful move I missed. Here, the idea is queen to h7 checkmate threat. And here, they cannot take back. Well, they can, but here, bishop h7 would lead to that Blackburn mate. But like I said, I played bishop takes g6. And here, my opponent went ahead and played queen a5. I mean, I think at this point, they pretty much see the writing on the wall. And here, yeah, I'm just playing a little too fast. I missed bishop h7 checkmate. I just went ahead and played queen takes on h5. And, well, at this point, my opponent just resigned. Well, guys, hope you enjoyed this. Remember, whenever you are playing against this Caro-Kann, remember that after this fantasy variation, do not play the knight to f6. Remember, play pawn to e5 here. And remember, you cannot take back, or else you'll be losing to the queen h4 check. Also, remember, if they do play this kind of idea where they play knight f6, make sure you play pawn to e5. And yes, it's okay to get these double pawns here on the c-file because black's best idea is to play c5 and ruin your pawn structure. Also, remember this idea of playing the queen e1, h4, bishop h6, knight to g5 attacking scheme that is used in the Grand Prix. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this. We'll see you in the next video.